I always believed that family was sacred. I worked my entire life for my son, sleepless nights, endless struggles and countless sacrifices. After my wife passed, he was all I had left. But nothing could have prepared me for the betrayal I overheard that night. The night of betrayal. It was a calm evening when I decided to stop by my son's house. I had cooked a pot of stew, his childhood favourite, and thought it would be a warm surprise. I didn't call ahead. I just walked through the familiar backyard gate, the same gate I had built with my own hands years ago. Then I heard voices. I recognized my daughter-in-law's sharp tone. She was speaking in a low, angry whisper. "Why is he even still alive? He's old, he's weak. Once he's gone, everything will finally be ours." I froze, my heart skipped a beat. Then I heard my son, my own blood. His voice was lower, almost hesitant, but the words cut deeper than any knife. "I know, just be patient, it won't be long, I'll handle it." At that moment I felt the ground vanish beneath me. My knees shook, my chest tightened. I wanted to scream, to burst into the open and demand answers, but something inside told me to stay quiet, to listen. And I did. I memorized every poisonous word. When they went inside, laughing as if nothing had happened, I turned and walked away silently, clutching the stew pot in my trembling hands. A sleepless night. That night I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I sat alone in my room, staring at old photographs, my son as a child, sitting on my shoulders, smiling with innocent joy. My late wife's face looked back at me from a framed picture, her eyes full of warmth. "Take care of him," she had told me before she died. "Protect him, guide him, love him." I had done all of that. And yet this was my reward. The decision. By sunrise, the pain in my chest had hardened into something else. Not sadness, not weakness, but determination. I made 2 decisions that morning. 1, I would never let my son or his wife touch a single coin of my life's work. 2, I would make them regret underestimating me. I called my lawyer and rewrote my will. Everything I owned, my house, my savings, my land, was placed in the name of my granddaughter. She was only 10 years old, full of innocence, and the only one in that family who truly loved me. Then I began preparing my revenge. The dinner of truth. 1 week later, I invited my son and his wife over for dinner. I cooked the same stew I had once brought, this time without trembling hands. They arrived smiling, pretending to be the perfect family. But I could see it in their eyes, the greed, the hunger for what they believed was almost theirs. We sat down to eat. Their laughter was forced, their smiles hollow. Halfway through the meal, I lifted my glass slowly. My voice was calm but sharp. "To family," I said, "the ones who love us, protect us, and never wish us harm." The silence that followed was heavy. My son's hand froze, his wife's eyes darted nervously. I leaned forward, staring directly into their eyes. "I was in the backyard last week." The blood drained from their faces. My son stuttered, "Father, it's not what you think." But I didn't let him finish. I heard everything, every single word. The room went silent. The only sound was the clatter of a spoon slipping from my daughter-in-law's hand onto the plate. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I simply stood up, placed my napkin on the table and said, "You've already lost me, soon you'll lose much more." Then I walked away, cutting them off. From that day on, I cut all ties. I moved out, blocked their numbers, and refused their visits. They tried to cover their tracks, sending letters, pretending they cared, even showing up at my door with false apologies. But I didn't budge. The more they begged, the quieter I became, and my silence scared them more than any anger ever could. Over the years, their greed grew into desperation. They waited for my passing, believing that wealth would eventually come to them. They were wrong. The final revenge. When my time finally came, my son and his wife were shocked to discover the truth. They received nothing. Not a house, not a dollar, not a single piece of the empire I had built with my blood and sweat. Instead, everything went to my granddaughter. She grew up strong, kind, and grateful. She often told me, "Grandpa, you're the reason I have a future." And she was right. As for my son and his wife, they were left with nothing but their guilt, their shame, and the bitter knowledge that the man they betrayed outsmarted them in the end. Closing words. Revenge doesn't always need blood or violence. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is silent, patient, and precise. And my revenge. It wasn't just about protecting my wealth. It was about teaching them a lesson they would never forget. When you plot against the one who gave you life, you don't just lose the inheritance. You lose everything.